Namaste students. In the previous class, we have studied about the hormones, general properties of hormones and differences between the hormonal control and nervous control, as well as we have learnt about endocrine system and differences between the endocrine gland and exocrine glands. In today's class, we are going to study about the endocrine glands. Endocrine glands nothing but these are the glands, they secrete the hormones and directly pour into the bloodstream. Here in our body many endocrine glands are there. Today we are going to study about the endocrine gland. There are 7 endocrine glands are there. So in that we are going to study about only 4 endocrine glands. So we can see the 7 endocrine glands. Adrenal gland, pancreas, thyroid, pituitary, parathyroid, thymus and gonads. For your syllabus, only 4 glands are there, that are adrenal, pancreas, thyroid and pituitary. In the diagram, you can observe the location of these endocrine glands. Pituitary gland, it is present in the brain, just below the base of the hypothalamus. And thyroid gland in the neck region, adrenal gland above the kidney, pancreas just behind the stomach region, and we can see the parathyroid, it is present in the dorsal region of this thyroid gland. In the back side of this thyroid gland we can see in the neck region, and thymus gland we can see in the newborn child, it is close to the heart. And gonads, in that we can see the testes, it is located in the male body, and ovaries, it is located in the female bodies. So these are the endocrine glands which present in our body, and their main function is they secrete the hormones. First gland we can study, that is the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are cap-like structure on the top of the kidney region. On the top of both the kidney, there is a cap-like structure. That cap-like structure is called adrenal glands. Each adrenal gland consists of 2 parts. The central part is called medulla, and the outer part or peripheral region is called as cortex. We can see adrenal medulla and adrenal cortex. The same cortex word and medulla word is there in the excretory system also. So here you have to use the adrenal medulla and adrenal cortex. First we can study adrenal medulla. Adrenal medulla, it secretes a hormone called adrenaline. See the spelling, ADRENALINE. Not ADRE, that is ADRE, not ADER. Many of the students they will write ADER. It is a adrenaline, not adrenaline, adrenaline. Adrenal medulla is secretes a hormone called adrenaline. It is also called as epinephrine or noradrenaline. This adrenaline hormone is called emergency hormone. Adrenaline hormone is called emergency hormone because it prepares our body to meet any emergency situation. And this hormone is produced during the emergency condition and prepares our body to meet or to face that emergency situation. That's what is called as emergency hormone. In the emergency situation, it prepares our body for fight or for flight. In the emergency situation, either we have to face that emergency situation or dangerous situation, or we have to run away from that situation. So it prepares our body for fight, means to face that dangerous situation, or flight means to run away from that situation. So it is called as emergency hormone. Extra energy and strength is provided to the body in that situation. To face or to escape from that situation, our body requires the extra energy. Here when we are in excited or when we are in angry, this adrenal produces a lot of adrenaline hormone. When we are in excited or when we are in angry, in that condition, adrenaline hormone is produced in large quantity. And this gland is stimulated by the nerve, one of the part of the nervous system that is called autonomic nervous system. This adrenaline hormone, it works along with the autonomic nervous system. Next, functions of this adrenaline hormone. First one, it increases heartbeat. It increases the heartbeat accompanied by an increase in blood pressure. When the heartbeat increases, the more amount of blood is supplied. So in that, the pressure in the blood also increases. Next, it increases blood supply to the muscles while decreasing it to skin and the visceral organs. Especially when we are in a excited or when we are in a dangerous situation, to face or to escape from that situation, our muscles requires more blood supply. So it increases the blood supply to the muscles region and decrease the supply of blood in the skin as well as some other organs region. Next, more glucose is released into the blood. Yes, because in that situation, our body requires a more amount of energy. We will get the energy by the breakdown of the glucose. So, more glucose is released into the blood by the liver. So, in the liver, the excess amount of glucose is stored in the form of glycogen. So, with the help of the liver, so it supplies a more amount of glucose to the blood because to get the energy. So, this hormone is called as emergency hormone because it's secreted in the emergency situation. And it prepares the body to face stress or danger. It prepares our body to face stress or dangerous situation. So these are the main functions of this adrenaline hormone. Next, responses to adrenaline. When the adrenaline hormone is secreted in our body, many changes takes place in our body. This adrenaline hormone works along with the autonomic nervous system also. So in that condition, some changes we can see in our body. For example, heart. Here, heartbeat increases. When heartbeat increases, it sends the more glucose and oxygen to the muscles. So, effect thumping heart. Heartbeat is increases. And you can see the another good example in the liver. What changes takes place in the liver? So, in the liver, the conversion of glycogen to glucose takes place. So, glucose is available in body for the energy production. In addition, adrenaline also increases clotting capacity of the blood, dilates pupil of the eye, stimulates uterine contraction during the birth of the baby. So these all changes also takes place because of this secretion of adrenaline hormone. Next, adrenal cortex. Adrenal cortex, so it is the outer part of this adrenal gland. And it secretes the hormone called cortisol hormone. And these cortical hormones are classified into two types. First one, glucocorticoid. This glucocorticoid influences the carbohydrate, protein and fat metabolism. Second one, mineralocorticoid or mineral corticoid. It influences the mineral metabolism, especially sodium and potassium ions. It stimulates the kidneys to retain sodium and excrete potassium. And what are the main functions of these hormones? First one, it increases the level of blood glucose concentration. Second, it influences the fat and protein metabolism. Next, it allows for a balanced amount of salt and water in the body. It helps to maintain the balanced condition of salt and water in our body. Next, it adapts the body to stresses such as extreme heat, cold, burns, infections, etc. In a certain condition, our body can tolerate the stresses. Stresses nothing but it may be the cold, heat, or burning sensation, or some of the infections. Next, some cortical hormones like androgen, it is in male, and estrogen in female, behave like sex hormones. These cortical hormones, example is androgen, we can see in the male, and the estrogen we can see in the females. They behave like a sex hormones. In case of an overgrowth of adrenal cortex in young children, it leads to premature sexual maturity. In some time, some of the children, they shows the sexual maturity little bit early, because in their body overgrowth of adrenal cortex takes place. In some of the condition in young children, the overgrowth of adrenal cortex takes place. If there is overgrowth of adrenal cortex, it leads to premature sexual maturity. Next, hyposecretion from adrenal cortex causes Addison's disease. Hypo means less secretion. If there is a adrenal cortex causes the less secretion of the hormones, it causes the one of the disease that is called Addison's disease. Its symptoms are loss of energy, skin pigmentation, loss of weight, hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia means low blood sugar. In the blood there is a low amount of sugar, that is called hypoglycemia. Nausea. Nausea means a little bit headache, vomiting sensation. Sensitivity to cold and pain means they cannot tolerate the cold and pain. If little cold is there means they cannot tolerate. Increased susceptibility to infections means their body will catch the infection very fast and easily, because they are low immunity power. So the disease causing germs affect their body very fast. So these are the symptoms of Addison's disease. Next, hypersecretion. Hyper means more secretion. Hypersecretion of adrenal cortex causes Cushing's syndrome. Its symptoms are obesity, increase the fat, hyperglycemia. Hyper means more, high glucose in the blood. Hyperglycemia, higher blood sugar. Next, osteoporosis, weakness, salt and water retention. The salt and water salt and water remains in their body in excess amount, and they cause the weakness as well as osteoporosis. Here, osteoporosis nothing but the bones will become weak and brittle. Means the bones will break very easily and they will become very weak. If there is an overgrowth of adrenal cortex in a mature woman, she develops certain male characteristics, that is called adrenal virilism. In a female body, if there is a overgrowth of adrenal cortex, it causes the some of the male characteristics. It causes the development of some of the male characteristics in their body. So that condition is called adrenal virilism. For example, in the female body we can see the beard, mustache and deep male voice. So these are the characteristics we can observe in the female body because of the overgrowth of adrenal cortex. In the same case, if the overgrowth of adrenal cortex in men or in male, they may develop some female characteristics in their body. If there is a overgrowth of adrenal cortex in male, it causes the development of some of the female characteristics in their body. So overgrowth is very dangerous for male as well as the female also. Next endocrine gland, that is pancreas. Pancreas is located in an abdominal cavity close to the duodenum behind the stomach region. It is present in the abdominal cavity close to the duodenum and behind the stomach. Duodenum is one of first part of the small intestine, and behind the stomach region we can see a pancreas. It is yellowish in color, and this pancreas is called heterocrine gland because it acts as both duct gland as well as ductless gland. Pancreas acts as a both duct gland as well as ductless gland, so it is called as heterocrine gland. Means it secretes the both hormones as well as the enzymes. As a duct gland, it secretes digestive juices which breaks down nutrients. These juices are poured into the duodenum, which is the beginning of the small intestine, for the digestion purpose. For the digestion purpose, pancreas secretes the pancreatic juice and it is poured into the duodenum region. As a ductless gland, it has islets of Langerhans. As a ductless gland, it has a group of cells. That group of cells is called islets of Langerhans. This group of cells, it is scattered around the entire gland. That scattered or that group of the cluster or the group of cells are called as islets of Langerhans. In the islets of Langerhans, we can see three different types of the cells: beta cells, alpha cells and delta cells. We can see beta cells, alpha cells and delta cells, and they secrete the different hormones. Especially in pancreas, we can see the four types of cells, but for you only three types is there, and they secrete the different hormones. For example, here beta cell, it secretes the insulin hormone. Alpha cell, it secretes the glucagon hormone, and delta cell, it secretes the somatostatin hormone. Here beta cell secretes the insulin hormone, alpha cell secretes the glucagon hormone, and delta cell secretes the somatostatin hormone. For your syllabus, only insulin and glucagon hormone is there. There is no somatostatin hormone for your syllabus. Now we can study insulin hormone. Insulin is a hormone secreted by beta cells. Its main function is it stimulates glucose consumption by the body cells. Second, it stimulates deposition of extra glucose of the body as glycogen in the liver and muscles. Here, insulin main function is it promotes or stimulates the body cells to utilize the glucose which are present in the blood. Second one, it stimulates the cells of the liver as well as the muscles to convert extra glucose into glycogen and it is stored in the liver as well as the muscles. Here, insulin will not directly utilize this glucose content. It main function, it stimulates our body cells, and insulin is not directly convert the extra glucose into glycogen. It stimulates the cell, so it promotes the body cells to utilize the glucose content as well as it promotes the cell to convert extra glucose into glycogen and stored in the liver as well as the muscle region. Insulin will not directly convert, it only stimulates our body cells. This is the main function of this insulin hormone. Next, effect of hyposecretion of insulin. Hypo means less secretion of insulin. So what changes takes place in our body? We can study. Insufficient secretion of insulin results in diabetes. that is called diabetes mellitus or hyperglycemia. Now we can see main characteristics of diabetic person. First one, has high concentration of sugar in their blood. Their blood contains more amount of the sugar. Next, they excrete more amount of urine with the sugar. They excrete a great deal of urine loaded with the sugar, means their urine contains more amount of sugar. Next, they feel thirsty because of the loss of water through too much urination. They will urinate frequently, so that's why their body will lose more amount of water, so they feel thirsty. Next, they loses the body weight and becomes weak and weaker. They becomes weaker and weaker because of loss of body weight. And in some cases, the person lose eyesight or vision. The person loses or loss of vision or eyesight takes place. And catabolism of fats and proteins increases. The breakdown of fats and proteins increases in their body. Injuries take a lot of time to heal and may turn gangrenous. Here, if they get any injury or any wound, it takes more time to heal. Or sometimes that injury may lead to gangrenous. The doctors will cut that part only. So that's why the diabetic patient very conscious about their health. And we cannot give the any treatment for this diabetic patient. So there is the diabetic patient, they have to take the medicine to control the glucose or sugar level in their blood. But we cannot cure this diabetic mellitus. But we can control by some of these medicines. Next, effects of hypersecretion of insulin. Hyper means more, over secretion, or hypersecretion means more amount of secretion. First one, it leads to lowered blood sugar level. Here, the blood sugar level decreases. When the insulin secreted in more amount, their blood, in the blood, sugar level decreases. That is called hypoglycemia. Hypo means low. Here, hypoglycemia means the less amount of sugar we can see in their body. Next, the brain may enter into a state of coma if the insulin levels drop below a point even for a few minutes. If the insulin level is become less in their body, the patient may undergo coma state for a few minutes. This coma state, it also causes if the diabetic patient is given an overdose of insulin. If the diabetic patient, if we take the overdose of insulin hormone, it causes the person undergo coma state, and that condition is called insulin shock. The patient undergo the patient might lose consciousness, or they undergo the coma state. That is called as insulin shock. It causes because of the over secretion or overdose of insulin hormone. So this insulin shock is also called as hypoglycemia. Here, in that condition, if the sugar level decreases in the diabetic patient, so immediately we have to supply the sugar candy or some sweet immediately. So when they consume the sweet, the sugar level in the blood little bit increases. Otherwise, the patient will undergo the coma state. Here, for the diabetes, there is no medicine. Means we cannot cure this diabetic mellitus, but we can control by taking the insulin hormone. Externally, by taking the insulin hormone through the injection, the patient will inject their body through that they can control the sugar level in their blood. Next hormone, glucagon. It's secreted from alpha cells of pancreas. Its main function is it stimulates the breakdown of glycogen in the liver to glucose. Through this, it increases sugar level in the blood. Here insulin, it stimulates the cells to convert excess glucose to glycogen, and at the same time, if there is a sugar level decreases in our blood, this glucagon hormone, it converts the glycogen into glucose form in some extent. So, this glucose is the soluble form, glycogen is the insoluble form. It is secreted from the alpha cells of pancreas. So, next one more hormone, somatostatin. So, this hormone is secreted by the delta cells of pancreas. Its main function is it inhibits the secretion of insulin and glucagon. This somatostatin, it inhibits the secretion of insulin and glucagon hormone, but it is not there in your syllabus. Only two hormones are there, insulin and glucagon. We can see in the diagram, it is a role of pancreatic hormone, that is the role of insulin and glucagon. How they will control the sugar level in the blood. So this diagram, it give the information how the sugar level is controlled in our blood with the help of this insulin and glucagon hormone. In today's class, I have learnt about the main endocrine glands in our body, that are adrenal, pancreas, pituitary and thyroid gland. And also you have studied about the adrenal gland. In there we can see the adrenal medulla and adrenal cortex region. The adrenaline is called emergency hormone. Next, you have learnt about the overgrowth of adrenal cortex, hyposecretion and hyposecretion of cortex. It leads to Addison's disease and Cushing syndrome. As well as you have studied about the pancreas. Pancreas is called as heterocrine gland because it acts as a both duct as well as a ductless gland. And in the pancreas, the group of cells, it secretes the hormone. That group of cells are called islets of Langerhans. We can see the four types of the cells, that is beta cells, alpha cells, delta cells and F cells. F cell, it is one more cell in the islets of Langerhans, and beta cell secretes the insulin hormone, and alpha cell secretes the glucagon hormone, and delta cell secretes the somatostatin hormone.